California's #1 news. This is ABC 30 Action News, midday.
Today, the nation mourns the passing of the 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter. In a proclamation issued overnight, President Joe Biden set next Thursday, January 9th, as a national day of mourning. And thank you for joining us this midday. We are live on ABC 30, Hulu Live, and wherever you stream. I'm Jason Oliveira.
And I'm Graciela Moreno. Here at home and at embassies all around the world, American flags are flying at half-staff for a month in memory of the late president. ABC's Morgan Norwood has more now from Atlanta.
Jason, Graciela, the Carter Center is somber yet grateful as visitors bring flowers to honor the man who dedicated his life to service and humanity. Tributes are pouring in to honor former President Jimmy Carter.
We may never see his like again. We'd all do well to try to be a little more like Jimmy Carter.
In his address to the nation Sunday, President Biden remembering Carter, who was 100 years old, as the longest living president in U.S. history. Biden and Carter sharing a friendship that spanned nearly 50 years.
There's millions of people all around the world, all over the world, feel they lost a friend as well, even though they never met him. And that's because Jimmy Carter lived a life measured not by words, but by his deeds.
President-elect Trump writing that Carter did everything in his power to improve the lives of all Americans. For that, we all owe him a debt of gratitude. Former President Barack Obama stating, Carter taught all of us what it means to live a life of grace, dignity, justice, and service. And from former President George W. Bush, Carter was loyal to his family, his community, and his country. And the Clintons. He worked tirelessly for a better, fairer world. Carter's one term in office was defined by foreign policy. He brokered a historic peace deal between Israel and Egypt, which is still in effect. But an energy crisis in the U.S. and the kidnapping of 52 American hostages in Iran played a role in his political undoing. Carter was just 56 when he left the White House. But in the more than 40 years since then, Carter and his wife Rosalind devoted themselves to humanitarian pursuits, both in the U.S. and around the world, with the former president winning the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002 in recognition of those efforts.
When historians write the paragraph on Jimmy Carter 100 years from now, what do you want to be at the top of the list?
I'd say maybe peace and human rights. I kept the country at peace for 4 years and promoted peace for other people.
And President Biden has ordered a state funeral in Washington, D.C. next Thursday at the National Cathedral. Carter will be laid to rest in his native Plains, Georgia. From Atlanta, Georgia, Morgan Norwood, ABC 30 Action News.
Former local leaders are sharing their memories after hearing of President Carter's passing.
He visited Merced College in July of 1980. Now, this video from the ABC 30 archives shows when President Carter arrived in the Central Valley. Former Congressman Tony Coelho says he invited President Carter to tour the Central Valley. Tony Capozzi was a former aide to President Carter at the time. He remembers the former president as a down-to-earth guy, kind of guy that deeply cared for people.
He really wanted to serve people, and he really wanted to help as much as he could. And I think he had that great heart, and he did whatever he could to help this country.
But what he was really interested in is what made up the Central Valley. The fact that we had over 50 different ethnic groups in the valley. The fact that we had all these people that came there, or practically all of them came there because of agriculture.
Coelho says President Carter was engaged with the personal side of politics as opposed to getting credit for the work he did as president. President Carter's wife, Rosalind, died in November of 2023 at the age of 96. The two were married for 77 years. Now, he's survived by 4 children and 12 grandchildren.
Hey, Central California, stay up to date with all the most important news and weather. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to ABC 30 Action News.